Hey, so for those that don't know, this is Erin Zimmerman. So she is a diamond and she has done our team call before. So I do stalk this woman, Erin, I stalk you. She does, I've been on a few of her trainings that she does for her team, and I've watched videos that you've done, and I was telling them, like, you have such a heart of a servant. Like, you lead your team, and it's obviously you do it through servanthood. And I just love how gracious you are with people. And, it just, your heart speaks volumes, and you choose to pass that on to your team and lead people that way. And you're a natural encourager. And that's really, I just knew my team could be blessed by hearing your story and your journey and maybe some things that have helped along the way. So thanks for joining us, and you can take it away, friend.
Well, thank you. You're so sweet. I appreciate that very much. So let's see, I think I'll start maybe just share a little bit about my story first. And then there's something that I recently trained my team on that really spoke to me whenever I was like learning it. And then I shared it with them. So I thought I might share that with you guys this evening as well. So first of all, my name's Erin Zimmerman. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I went to Oklahoma Baptist University, which is where Heather is your
cousin.
Mm-hmm. Is that right? That's right. So Heather, I'm keep wanting to say her maiden name. Heather Burke. And I went to OBU together. Yes, Heather Campbell. We pledged together actually. So I started Plexus in August of 2013. So it'll be 9 years this August. And I'm a registered dietitian. I have my master's degree in nutrition, and a little of my backstory. So I believed this was not true, but this is what I believed, was that the only respectable way to make an income was traditionally. So climbing the corporate ladder. So that's what I decided to do. I became a dietitian and started working for the company that makes Enfamil baby formula, and started out as a sales rep, moved into the headquarters, and was just successfully climbing that corporate ladder until I looked up one day and realized that I was traveling 3 or 4 nights a week. I had 2 babies at home. One was 2 years old, one was brand new. And no matter what I was doing, it just wasn't enough. Time-wise, effort-wise, whatever it just was never enough. And I just realized one day that this was not what I wanted and what my husband and I wanted for our family. So I literally just walked away after I spent all that time building that career. While I was at that company, I got my MBA. And that was what I thought, that I would be a lifer with that company, and really never even considered anything else. So I knew that God was calling me, though, to be a stay-at-home mom, or at least to switch gears. I knew that wasn't sustainable for our family. And so I quit, became a stay-at-home mom, which I really, really, really loved. We moved back to Oklahoma because we were living in Indiana, where the headquarters was at the time. And whenever we moved back to Oklahoma, I was staying home and I was super busy with the kids, but my husband was kind of firing his career up here. And we were not making a ton of money. And I really started to realize I'm probably going to have to do something to contribute financially. And I was looking at all types of things. I was looking at doing like consultant dietitian, where you traveling to like nursing homes and assisted livings and like consult. It was a real struggle for us, because I didn't want to be away from the kids, but I did know I needed to be contributing something financially, at least in the first couple of years. And I was super duper skeptical and very resistant to the idea of network marketing. 2 of my best friends from OBU, Celeste Gwynn and Jen Hawkins, they were posting about it, talking about it. We had a girls' weekend. They were all talking about it. And I'm just like, what in the world have you guys gotten yourselves into? I was so skeptical. I was kind of a supplement snob. But I'll say this, my husband, I was pregnant with our third baby, and I was about a month out from delivering him. And my husband was also watching the financial success and the health success that both Celeste and Jenny were having. And we'd been talking about it a lot, and I was very resistant. Finally, he said, will you please just get the products for me so I can use them? I want to try the products. You don't have to work the business, blah, blah, blah. I just want to try the products. I'm like, fine. But of course, as I think many of us do, we sign up back then as an ambassador to get the best price. And so I did that. He started taking the products, loved them. I delivered our baby, our third, and then I thought, you know what the heck? I'm going to try the products and just see if they help me take off those last 10 pounds of baby weight. So I got on the triplex, and next thing I know, you guys, so I'm a dietitian. I know how to eat well, right? I also have a degree in exercise science. So I know I exercise. I was fit and I was healthy, quote unquote, right? But I suffered from migraines. I had between 6 and 12 migraines a year. And those started whenever I was a sophomore in high school. And they were the type where my face would go numb, my hand would go numb, my speech would be impacted, like really thick tongue. And then my vision would just gradually close in. And then I would have this horrible, horrible headache. And to where I was debilitating, like I couldn't drive. I was home for the day, in bed. And so I had those frequently. Every single day after lunch, I got a stomach ache. And it was just like bloating, gas, just very uncomfortable. And that actually goes all the way back to elementary school. I can remember staying in from recess, like begging to stay in from recess just to lay down because my stomach hurt so bad. And so that was going on every day. And again, I was eating well. I wasn't eating junk, but I was always having these stomach aches. Super duper tired, super lethargic, grumpy. All of these things were going on, but yet I'm quote unquote healthy. And so after I started triplex, I lost those 10 last pounds of baby weight within about 6 weeks. But the thing that I really noticed was I quit having those stomach aches. That was like the first thing I noticed. And then, so here I am almost 9 years in, and I've had one migraine in 9 years. Isn't that crazy? And obviously the stomach aches, totally gone. Suffered from a lot of constipation. I don't deal with that at all anymore. I feel like I have tons of energy, which I know you guys have heard, stories of other people that experience that. So from a health standpoint, huge improvement. And it was because sure, I was eating well and I was exercising, but I was paying zero attention to my gut health, which we all know. And then from a financial standpoint, I started sharing a little bit because I was feeling good. John was feeling good. And, people just, it's what we all know. People just want what we have something that meets a need for them. And whenever they see that and they recognize that and they hear stories, they were coming and wanting to join in and just use the products, fell in love with them. And obviously, I was able to not have to work outside the home, not be traveling, even if I'm being a consultant dietitian or I'm working, in a hospital or whatever. I didn't have to be away from my kids. And this has really just met a great need for us, both financially and health-wise. Whenever I left corporate America, I always say that at the time, it was a really hard decision. And I really believed that I was walking away from all my hopes and dreams of ever having a successful career. And what I found through this journey was the realization that success is defined a lot of ways, right? So I previously had defined success simply as just climbing that corporate ladder and continuing to get promotions. And frankly, get a 2% raise on my good years, which was crazy. And I realized what was really sort of defined success for me, the things that brought me a lot of joy, even in corporate America, were feeling like I was doing work that mattered, helping people. And that's why I became a dietitian. Getting to spend time with my friends and family. I am relational. I love to build relationships. That was one of the things I loved about my corporate job, were the people. And obviously one of the things I love about Plexus as well. So I realized that I didn't forfeit all those hopes and dreams. Plexus has really helped me to, I mean, it sounds cliche, but live the life of my dreams, because of whenever I really started thinking about how I define success, it's more those things. It's the relationships, it's helping people, it's doing things that matter, getting to spend more time with my family. So it's been just such a huge, huge blessing for me. I went diamond in April of 2016, joined in August of 13 and went diamond in April of 2016. I get that question a lot. People kind of just wondering what the time frame was like. So that's just a little of my story. Are there any questions? Did I think I covered most of the things.
I'll have some at the end.
Okay.
But Carol did say she relates so much to this, and you would, Carol.
Good.
She's a personal trainer.
Oh, good. Yes.
I went to school the same thing. So I totally relate, and I felt healthy. I thought I should be healthy, but I felt unhealthy, all the things, I was a sports nutritionist and all that. So I love your story.
Yes. Thank you. I'm so glad. The thing that I love with Plexus is that, so when I left corporate America and feeling like I was just walking away from all that I built, and I mean, all the work I'd put in and the degrees and I even had people say, wow, you just got your MBA and you're just quitting. I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm being obedient. This is what I know I need to do. But it's the relationships and the connections and the way that you treat people throughout your life, and the way that you build those relationships, and the way that they observe you working hard and caring for others, and coming from a place of service. And so I didn't realize that, but it's truly really has what contributed to so much of my success, are all those relationships that I built during those processes of getting those degrees and doing that work. So okay, so like I mentioned, one of the things that I've just really been thinking about, and I wanted to share with you guys, and I think this applies to everything. It applies to all aspects of our life. So hopefully this will be helpful for you guys. So if you have a piece of paper, and I would love, please be interactive. I don't want to feel like I'm just preaching or up on the stage or whatever. If you have a piece of paper, fold it in half, and I want you to write "I should" on one side, and then on the other side, I want you to write "I need to." So I should, and then I need to. And I'm just take 1 minute, and I want you to just jot down some things that you're like, oh, I should fold that laundry. I need to call my sister. I should just write down some things that you feel like you should do. I should post today. I should be reaching out to people. I should be inviting. Oh, I need to do this or that. Business-wise, personal, whatever it could be. Just jot down 3 or 4 things that you should do, that you're thinking, oh, I should do that. And some things that you're thinking, oh, I really need to do that. Okay, so let's take 1 minute. All right, so hopefully that was enough time to at least jot down a couple of things. So what I'm going to do is this is, I'm not going to ask you guys to share those, but what I want to do is I want to challenge you to remove 2 words from your vocabulary. The first one is should, and the second one is need. And let me tell you why. So just stick with me for a second, okay? And I'll tell you after I share, and then as you're kind of going about your evening or tomorrow, if you're like me, you're going to recognize that you use those 2 words a lot. I do. Even with the awareness after this, I still am like, I use those 2 words so much. Okay, but here's why I want to talk to you guys. So first, let's just talk about should. So should, if you really think about it, should produces a lot of guilt. Like whenever you say, oh, I should do that, it doesn't conjure up a good feeling. It kind of is like, oh, yuck. It makes you feel like, well, okay. So there's 3 different times or ways in which we use the word should. So first of all, let's talk about using the word should in the past tense. Okay. So in the past, it typically comes from a place of kind of regret or shame. So I should have said that. I should have done this. So it's coming from this place of regret or shame, where again, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't come from a good place. If you're using it in the present tense, it's typically something along the lines of, I should be further along. Okay, here we are. We're in the last week of the month. You've got your goals that you set for the month, and you're in one of 2 places right now. You feel really, really good about where you are, and you're feeling confident, and you're, like I'm nailing it. Or you're feeling discouraged and sad and like, oh, I should be further along. I should have done more. My team should be more engaged. My network should be more engaged. I'm just throwing examples out there. When we are using should in the present tense, it's coming from a place of entitlement, resentment, maybe impatience. It causes frustration and discontentment, because when we're using it in the present tense, there's some underlying feeling of, it is owed to me. I should be further along. This should be easier for me. Erin went diamond in 2.5 years. I should have gone diamond. It should have been easier for me. So you kind of see that sort of entitlement, or something's owed to you. The thing is, guys, that just causes resentment. It just causes you to have like bad conversations going on inside your head. Instead, we want to be looking or coming from a place of gratitude and thanksgiving for what we do have. And I often do that too. I'm just like, there are times where my points are down and I'm just like so disappointed and so bummed. And maybe there's a certain person that I'm focused on my team who's not engaged. And I'm frustrated that they're not engaged and they're not doing more, and like they used to, or whatever it might be. It makes me feel resentful and yucky, where I should be thinking, look, I just did it again. I'm telling you, I say should all the time. And then there's probably some instances where we should, but I want to be coming from a place of gratitude of, I have 4,000 points. I have 4,500 points. If you're gold, I have 110 points every single month. I'm a gold. So coming more from a place of gratitude than a place of resentment for where I'm not. And so whenever we use it in the present tense, keep that in mind. It's riddled with entitlement and resentment, and just not coming from a place of gratitude. And then another way in which we can use it is in the future tense. So future tense, that conjures up like obligation, and it sort of uses guilt to propel us forward. So I should wake up earlier. I should time block. I should get out and exercise more. I should reach out to more people. I should invite more people to our event on Thursday. If you finish that sentence, I should reach out to more people, but I don't want to, right? That's kind of the way that sentence ends. I should wake up earlier, but I don't want to. So it's kind of comes from sort of a wishy-washy place. And instead, you don't want to feel like you're having to force yourself to do something. Instead, well, and the reason is because when we're having to force ourselves to do something, rarely is it fun. So there's just one tiny little modification that you can make that changes that. So instead of saying, I should reach out to more people, what if you said, I could reach out to some people about that event on Thursday. Doesn't that feel, it's like, it's empowering, frankly. It's not like guilt ridden, like I should do this. It's like, this is something I could do. Or you could say, I will reach out to more people for Thursday. I will set my alarm and get up earlier. Or you could say, I could set my alarm and get up earlier. I am going to. So instead of saying should, which is riddled with all those things we talked about, just slightly modify how you think about those things that you are going to do, and it makes you feel much more empowered. So swap should for I could, I can, I will, and you'll totally notice a difference in just your mindset of that task and how you approach it. So that's should. The next one is need. So need kind of comes from a place of urgency. So I need 250 points to hit senior gold. So I'm going to come from desperation and urgency because I need this. And the thing about that is I went through this for a period of time where so much of my identity was wrapped up in the fact that I was a diamond. And if I got close to losing my points being less than diamond one month, it devastated me because so much of my identity was wrapped up in the fact that I was a diamond. And so then I would get desperate and I would stop serving people and helping people. And it all became about me, right? I need to do this. I need you to do this. And so need can just really just cause a lot of like desperation and urgency in the way that you are coming off. Even if you're not, the words you're not saying, but it's just the tone and the way in which that you're coming off. So you don't want to fall into that scarcity mindset. You want to come from a place of abundance. And something that I've really learned and noticed, people who are super successful, in my opinion, with continuing to attract new VIPs to Plexus are people who truly are coming from a place of service, where they are not attached to the outcome. They simply know that I have something that can help you. I'm going to tell you about it. And you get to decide what you want to do with that information. And I am completely detached from your decision because I'm just coming from a place of serving. I want to help you. And that comes off. People feel that. And they feel when you're making it about them and not about you. So instead of saying need, switch that and say it's important to me too. So the one I notice I say a lot is I need to do the laundry. I need to do the laundry. I have 4 kids and I don't even have you guys seen that where based on the amount of laundry in my house, there are kids living here that I've never even seen. That's what I feel like. There's so much laundry, but I've just noticed instead of saying I need to do the laundry, because again, it just makes it yucky. It's important to me to do laundry or it's not. And so I say, it's important to me to get that laundry done. It's important to me to prepare a good meal for the family this evening. It's important to me to pull an event together for my team. It's important to me to hit my goals this week. So instead of saying I need to, I want you guys just flip flop and say it's important to me to do that. I have just a spiral notebook that I use for just like all the notes. And so I made myself a little sheet here on the front of that. So I see it all the time. Instead of should, I say could. Instead of need to, I say it's important to me to. And trust me, I still multiple times a day use these two words, but I can tell such a difference in my mindset whenever I just make those slight little modifications. So evaluate your language. Next time you say need, ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? So when I say this, how's this making me feel? It's making me feel anxious. It's making me feel desperate. It's making me feel overwhelmed. If I'm saying should, how's that making me feel? So like kind of evaluate how it makes you feel and remind yourself, no, I want to show up. I don't want to be showing up with fear. I want to be showing up with courage. I don't want to be showing up in like with guilt. I want to be giving love, and serving others. I don't want to feel like I lack. I want to be showing up from a place of abundance and gratitude. And I certainly don't want to be showing up in desperation. I want to be serving others. So it'll really help you to evaluate just kind of how you're feeling and realize if I just make that tiny little tweak in my language, it totally changes how I feel and how I show up. So hopefully that was helpful. It's like a huge aha for me personally.
I told y'all she was an encourager. I love that. Well, because mindset, I mean, in my experience, mindset trumps skill. Like you can learn all the skills and you can be good at the skills, but if your mindset is junk, it's going to stop you. It is. And whenever, I mean, I've never even thought about that until you were saying the word should and the word need, like promotes that guilt and that desperation. And I know if I have something that I know I don't want to do, but I'm telling myself I need to be doing this, I should be doing this, that guilt sets in. And the guilt makes me want to hide from it even more and procrastinate even more. And I know I can't be the only one. So I love that. I love because it just kind of cancels that out. So I will try this. I will practice this. So if y'all have questions for Erin, you are welcome to unmute yourself or put it in the chat, whatever you're comfortable with. So just if you do have a question, make sure to ask it before we get off. But I want to really quickly go back to your story because there were a few things that stood out to me, just your story, that are just good reminders. Because you being a registered dietitian, it probably was pretty intimidating for them to even share this with you, right? I'm assuming, I don't know if they reached out to you and you shut them down or if they never even got up the nerve to reach out to you. But, a lot of people start as skeptics, and it's just a good reminder, not only that us sharing our love for the products are inspiring those that we don't even realize. Like, I wouldn't think me sharing this stuff would inspire a dietitian to be like, oh, I mean, we hope, right? But half the time we're probably like, oh, they already think they know what they need to know, and it's all going to be nutrition. So consistently sharing that, but I love how you said them sharing the business opportunity consistently really sparked y'all's interest.
Yes.
Which kind of leads me to my question is, how do you approach people who are already successful, like especially those in the corporate world? Because I think the intimidation is real to, you see people and you're like, well, they've already got plenty of money, they're already successful in their career, but you've been in those shoes and obviously weren't satisfied.
Yeah, I think we can never assume. And I think that's the thing is oftentimes people, we don't know what they're experiencing. So from the outside looking in, I looked like people would have thought, wow, she's just got it going on. I was a district manager, a large district. We were successful. I was gradually just kind of moving up the corporate ladder. I really was miserable. because I was just spending so much time away from my family. And I had a crummy boss. You know how they always say you quit your boss, not your company. And so that really did. I mean, if I ever ran into him today, I would probably thank him, because it really propelled me to go ahead and make the change. But I was with that company for 8 years and had 8 different managers in that time, and 7 of them were fantastic. So it just so happened that the one that I quit, but it was like the perfect storm. Everything had come together, babies, whatever. But we just can't assume. And I have I have an emerald on my team who still works in corporate, and I have another emerald on my team that used to work in corporate, same company, and no longer does. I have her upline also worked for that company, no longer does. So the right kind of person is going to be, they're going to be open to and looking for different opportunities. So your job is just to present it and just share your experience, share what it could mean for somebody. And like I said before, don't be attached to their choice or their decision. That has nothing to do with you. But just out of love and in service, and knowing, we know what it can mean for someone, and knowing that you want to share that. And so it's just going into it with the knowledge that not everybody's going to take you up on it, but there are going to be people that it really resonates with them, and you're exactly bringing to them what they need and what they've been looking for, and they just didn't even realize it. So just share. You share and just be totally detached from who takes you up on it and who doesn't.
Yeah. And I love that. And you know what? You hear that a lot, but you forget about it, right? Because it takes a lot to get up the nerve to even connect with somebody. So already your emotions are engaged in the process. But like when you really think about it, like it's a pride issue if we're emotionally attaching ourselves to the outcome. Because if we truly are connecting because we feel this urge, this inspiration, whatever, to connect with that person, if we are attaching ourselves emotionally to that, and they say no, then it's really just a pride issue with us. It's okay if it's not their season. But it's a good reminder, because you're right, that does help take away the fear, even the worry. What is it they always say? You can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
Right. Exactly.
If it's the right time, it's not going to be the wrong thing. So, but well, thank you. Does anybody else have questions? I know nobody ever likes to unmute themselves, but that's okay. I used to be the non-unmuter. But if they haven't, I will also connect with you. But I really appreciate the encouragement, because I know the end of the month can also just be hard for some of us to keep our spirits up, and we're pushing hard and ending strong, and we're super excited. And there's lots of really cool stuff with new product lines and everything maybe coming next month. So lots of big announcements, but yes. Well, thank you, Erin. We appreciate